got a few people still joining via audio, so we'll let them get joined in via audio, and then we'll get started in just a moment. All right. I think I'm seeing everybody who is in the process of joining. Oh, we've got one more joining here. We'll wait for them to get connected via audio, and then we'll get started. While we're doing that, I will just introduce myself. I'm Wes Osborne. I'm the chair of the Innovative Users Group Steering Committee, and excited to be with you here this afternoon talking about our new membership training system. My background is that I work with a public library consortium in Ohio, Central Ohio. So that's kind of my understanding and worldview comes from that background, but it's been a pleasure to work with colleagues of all different types of libraries on the IUG steering committee. And one of the things to just remind everybody of, because I recall when I was getting started in this world, this was a bit confusing, but that the Innovative Users Group is a completely separate entity from the company Innovative. We're a completely separate, organized nonprofit organization, completely under kind of our own membership charter, and you all help kind of set the tone for things we need to focus on and be doing. But I think it's just a good distinction to have out there. I've been involved in helping the group with several projects in my time, and one of them has been launching this new membership system. So we're going to go through a few slides to kind of give you some background about why we were making changes and what we were hoping to accomplish, and then we'll jump in and do some demoing and clicking around in the system so that you'll hopefully be more familiar with it as a tool that you can use as well. So the outline for today is to talk about why we are moving, or why we moved to a new system, why we selected the system that we did. We'll talk briefly about some things that might not be as obvious because there'll be behind the scenes changes and improvements that will occur, that it will improve some workflows, but you wouldn't necessarily see those. And then we'll get into some demos and training on the actual features that you'll be interacting with most immediately, and then some things that are coming in the future as well. So why did we move to a new system? One of the aspects of our membership is that we have membership available at an organization level. So rather than requiring individual members to join our organization and pay an individual person membership, we really want to have a membership that's established at the organization level that then allows everybody from within that organization to be able to participate as part of IUG. So the previous system that we had was not really able to work with that membership type, that org level membership type. Now, that's not because that folks weren't trying, but we just weren't able to make it work there. So what we ended up doing was having a lot of manual data syncing between our systems that we maintained. So we did have a membership system. We had a Joomla site that interacted with our membership renewal form. We had a WordPress site for hosting our main website. We had our accounting software, and then we had separate newsletter software. So we had all these different systems that we had to maintain and sync data between each other. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to have that previous system be able to be utilized to cover all those things, but it really just wasn't possible. That system started out as more of an event management system that we then tried to work with the company to do some of the membership features that we needed. They were a great group of folks. Canadian companies, so as the saying goes, the Canadians are such wonderful and nice people. They really did try, and members of the steering committee, both present and past, really tried to make that system work, but it just wasn't really working, and so we had to maintain all of these systems manually. And as I said, IUG is a separate nonprofit entity that is primarily run by volunteers. We do have some contracts, individuals that we have help with certain areas of the system, but really it's run by volunteers, folks like you that are a part of that run for steering committee positions and then become part of the organization. So we really needed a solution that was going to make better use of our limited time, because we all on the steering committee have our 9 to 5 day jobs as well. So the work that we do for the steering committee then is in addition to that. So we really needed a system that was more effective. We looked and we several that were out there. Some that you may have encountered, probably I would say would be Wild Apricot would be one that you might have heard along the way if you were a part of other member organizations. But we really honed in on this product or this solution from a company organization called Memberly. So the main key for this tool was that it worked with our organization level member type, right? That's the type of membership that we have. That was one of the big stumbling blocks from the previous tool that we were using. So we were specifically focusing on tools that we knew would work day one out of the box with the organizational member level type that we utilize. So MemberLeap had that in their system. It wasn't something they needed to build. They demonstrated that they had it. And we also liked that it was a company that's been around for a long time, over 20 years. It is privately held, but it's not venture capitalist backed. They're cash flow positive, so there's no concern that they're going to disappear in a year or two. They offer support via phone and ticket. They had lots of documentation, which was something that was lacking in our previous system. Of course, documentation, there's never enough, it seems, but they had a lot there for many aspects of the system that were important for us. They also made it easy if we decided to leave in the future to get our data out. There's a very easy way to export that data. And one of the other elements was that we knew that there was a potential that they would have some things that we couldn't do, but they upfront let us know, well, we can do those things for a price, which is a good sign to me. I get worried about organizations that will say yes to everything and then also not charge you for that. How is that possible to kind of remain sustainable as an organization? They were very upfront with what their charges were for customizations, and we've already taken advantage of some of those, and it's really worked out well. And it's also nice that since we are a relatively small nonprofit, that it is also cheaper than the previous solution that we were doing. Our annual cost for this new system is about 20% of what we were paying maintaining some of those other systems. So we've got a system that's more functional for our needs, and it's also a lower cost. So we've gone using MemberLeap. We've now gone from these 6 different systems, at least 6. There's probably a few others in there that even I wasn't aware of, to really 2, our membership system and our accounting software. And those actually work together. That's another thing that we like. Our accounting software is QuickBooks. The membership system can feed renewals information directly into the accounting software. So it makes keeping that up to date more easy as well. The other thing that I think is important to me is I'm the chair and I will be the past chair for a period of time. And so I was concerned about putting a system in place that, I understood because I had helped launch it, but that within the next folks that were involved would struggle or have challenges with it or not understand things. And so I really wanted to have something that would also be well supported so that both present and future IUG steering committee members could reach out to one point of contact for questions about the newsletter or the membership system or the renewal process or the website hosting. So that's centralized now all with one company. So that was another reason. That's the reasoning and the reason we picked MemberLeap. When it comes to behind the scenes improvements, some areas that you may not be aware of or interface or see directly, but have definitely improved behind the scenes is that we now have the membership renewal emails being sent by the new system. We are still working with MemberLeap on some things regarding the email headers. So if you were expecting a renewal letter but haven't gotten one, make sure to check your spam folder just in case it might have landed there. We are working on ways to improve that delivery, but for my Outlook Office 365 tenant, it comes through fine. For my Gmail, it comes through fine, but some other email systems we've heard are a little more picky, and we're still working to improve those. It is nice because it will mean less information that you have to fill in during the renewal process because it'll be tied to your member account. So when you go click through the links on that member renewal, there's less that you'll have to fill in. And then, as I mentioned, it will synchronize the payment information with our accounting system as well. So that's great too, in terms of a behind the scenes improvement. Let's get into some of the items that you kind of what we want to spend the most time on today, and that is some of these training aspects. One very important thing is that all the stuff that I'm going to show you today is subject to change. I have to explain this little karate character. So when we started digging into MemberLeap, once we went live with it, I thought to myself, this feels very much like running an ILS system because there are just so many options within MemberLeap. It is incredible. There's thousands, probably tens of thousands of options within the system, which felt to me familiar, like running an ILS system, that there's all these options and you don't always understand the ramifications of every single one. I used the PowerPoint designer to help me build these slides. And for some reason, when I put in MemberLeap as like an ILS, it came up with the karate thing. So it must think that we as system administrators of library ILS systems know karate, or we have to be quick on our feet or something like that. But I just thought that was humorous and decided to leave it in there because that's what PowerPoint thinks of us. We're like karate folks when it comes to managing ILS systems. But the main key here is that I'm going to show you things, but the exact screens may change slightly because of all of the different options that are out there, and we're still relatively new to the system and getting training on the system. Just to give you an example of how many options, this on the event registration area, there's probably about 10 or 15 screens like this with checkmark boxes of all these different options. So lots of capabilities in the system that we're still fine tuning to figure out how they work best for us. Let's start with the most important thing though, that is that the ability to log into MemberLeap, because it's going to be important for a lot of the activities that will be happening through IUG. One element of note is that for right now, the MemberLeap login information is completely separate from our web forum software. So those two do use distinct usernames and passwords for now. We are looking and exploring the ways that we could consolidate that login information, but for now, it'll be a separate login. And it'll also be different if you were using our previous Exceed system. It will be a completely different login, and we will not be using Exceed for any other activities. So you could replace that if you've got that login stored in your password vaults somewhere, because that system is what we're replacing. So as part of the login process, you should know that we did migrate all of the membership accounts that were in our previous systems. What you want to do is reset your password using your email address. And again, as we're still working on some of these issues with email delivery, make sure to check your spam folder in case your password reset email showed up there. The login, and we'll look at this live here in just a minute, but there's a login button that's in the upper right-hand side of the IUG website. And that's where we're going to go here right now so that you can see where the login button is and where to reset your password. So give me just a second. I'm going to stop my screen share and we'll get over to that part of the page. So give me just a second. I'm going to stop my screen share and we'll get over to that part of the page. Alrighty. So this is the IUG member site, and IUG site, both member and non-member activities happen here. I'm scrolling in a little bit on this or zooming in. So innovativeusers.org is that site. You'll notice right here at the top of the page, we have put information about the fact that we migrated to a new membership system. This, if you click on it, has some more details. And then we do discuss using the forgot password area. So you can access that forgot password to reset your password in several ways. You can click on this link, but at some point this banner will go away in the future. And so under the login button itself, you'll also see a forgot password link that you can click on to then get an email link to reset your password. So it works very much like most systems out there when it comes to password resetting. Utilize that to be able to send yourself a link to then reset your password, get a temporary login so you can reset your password. If for some reason you don't get an email as part of that to reset your address, then we do have a form here as well that you can fill out. so that we can try to look up information and figure out what might be going on in your case. So if you aren't able to log in after using the password reset link, go ahead and check that form and fill out that details, and we'll see what we can do to help get things figured out and straightened out for you. All right. One of the other nice benefits that we have as part of this new system, one of the things that was really kind of frustrating before is that sometimes we would share links with you all that would require you to log in, and you wouldn't have already been logged into the site. So you would click on that link, it would ask you to log into the site, and then once you had logged in, it wouldn't return you to that link. You would have to go find that link again and then click that link again. Thankfully, that is no longer the case. When we will share links with you that require you to log in, once you log in, once you're presented with the login, you'll be returned right back to that area that that we were trying to direct you to before. So that's another very nice aspect of the new system. I'm going to go ahead and log into the member area here, and then I'm going to flip back to my slide deck just to make sure I'm not missing anything else for you. Yeah, so when I log in, because I'm an administrator, I initially see a little bit different view. But when you all log into the system, this will be kind of the first view that you will see right off the bat. Right on this screen, and this is one of those that's subject to change because we're still trying to figure out the best layout for the screen. You'll see some information about your organization's membership. So here's your membership number. If we ask you for that at some point, that's what we're referring to. The contact address and email, and also the current term. So you can see that my membership renews in February each year. So that is showing that my member term will be coming up for renewal on February 3rd. But I'm currently paid up in terms of my membership renewal status. So you may have different terms there because we don't do all of our renewals on the exact same date. It's kind of a rolling renewal process based on what kind of works best for your organization. So that information will be presented to you right there. I would check this information, and if you see something that's wrong here, you'll see some links for changing your profile information, being able to change your password, which is something you'll see when you use the reset password option. You'll be able to see that link highlighted so that you can reset your password there as well. There is an ability to upload a photo of yourself, which we have turned on in certain areas of the system. So if you feel comfortable in doing something like that and would like to upload a headshot for yourself, you can do that as well. What I want to take a moment and pause and look at, though, specifically is this additional individuals included. Now, this additional individuals included will only show up if you are the site contact for your organization. So as we mentioned, we have this organization level membership, but which allows all other people within your organization to be able to gain access to things within the IUG. But when it comes to aspects like voting for both candidates for the steering committee, changes to the bylaws, some other things that we'll be talking about, those votes are one per organization. So there is this kind of hierarchy within the system of a site contact, which can do the voting and manage the additional contacts, and then an additional contact or additional individual that could be there. So you may not see additional individuals included when you log in. And if you do not see that, then that means that you are not designated as the site contact for your organization. We do have a form that you can fill out if you believe that you should be the site contact. So we can look at that here in a little bit, but that is a component that is kind of important for our site contacts. Specifically, what is helpful for our site contacts is to go ahead and look at that page and then view and take a peek at the people that are listed as site contacts for your organization. You may need to make some changes, including dropping a member or editing some of their information, or you may need to add somebody else as an additional site contact. We don't have a limit as to how many site contacts you can have today, so feel free to go ahead and add as many site contacts as might need to access aspects of the IUG system along the way. The important things that are starred there are the name, and then if you scroll down a bit, the email address, and the email address is what is also utilized as their username, and then it will send them a kind of welcome email once you submit their account to create a new contact for your organization. So that's the additional info individuals piece that you will see if you were a site contact within your organization. I'm going to flip back over here and get back into the regularly scheduled portion of the slide deck. Give me just a minute for that so I can get caught up over there. Okay, we'll look at the member directory in just a moment, but I also saw a chat question come in. Is there a way to see if all contacts were migrated? Well, the best thing to do to see if all contacts were migrated would be to have your site contact check that additional individuals piece. We did try to migrate it as much as we could, and I know for my organization, for example, it appeared that everything had migrated, but the easiest way is to have your site contact check that information. There's maybe a workaround to that we could look at right now, actually, and that is the membership directory. So let's see, maybe we can explore there and see what we see when we look in the member directory. So the member directory is a feature that is available only to people that have logged in. And we'll look at this under the members menu here. One of the things that we'll point out when we go into that is that there's also a way to contact individuals that are in the member directory, but it does not expose their email. It presents a contact form that the person can fill out and is then emailed to the individual, and then that individual can choose if they would like to respond to that person or not. But it doesn't expose the email addresses for everybody. It's simply a contact form. So let's take a look here and see what we find out if we were to go in and use the member directory aspect and, for example, look up my organization. So there are lots of different potential ways to search the member directory. I'm going to search for Central Library Consortium, since that's my organization. So I can now see those additional contacts. So that may be a way to check if you are not the site contact to see if everybody else in your organization was migrated. Go in there, search for your organization name. You might want to search for your own account to see how your organization was entered into our system, and then utilize that to go back and search again. I'll also show you that this can be a name search. So this searches for my name within the system, and we can see that this then shows up the contact form. This is another area that I could see potentially changing. For instance, we might change business to, your library or something like that. This membership system is utilized in some context to be able to have different organizations like HOAs and things like that utilize, and so they may have more of a traditional business that they would want to put in there. So this form may change, but you get kind of the basic concept that if you see somebody within the membership form that you would like to contact, there is a mechanism to do that while maintaining the privacy of your email address in the membership directory. So hopefully that also gives you a way to double check and see who is migrated from your organization. All right. The other thing that you'll want to do within the membership system is register for our monthly Zoom forums. This was one of the tricky things that we didn't really like the way that we had this presented before, and we find that it's much improved with MemberLeap. There's still some efficiencies that we would maybe like to have even within MemberLeap, but it is still a much cleaner process than we were experiencing before. Which involved having to do things in Zoom and do things on the website and do a bunch of other elements. It's now more centralized all within MemberLeap. So to find these, they are available in many places. The two primary ones on the main page of the Innovative Users Group website. There's a widget over on the right-hand side that shows the upcoming events that are out there. And then there's a more events button. And if you've logged into the member area, you can see under the events menu an event registration piece that's there. Now, if you were to look at the membership training session that you're in right now, this registration for this training was different, and that was deliberate because we wanted to present to you the ways that you could log in and reset your password and register for these events, but we didn't want you to not have the tools to do that. So for this event, you registered via the traditional Zoom way. Going forward, all of the events that we offer for the Zoom forums will be using this new method. The Zoom forums are a benefit of your membership, and that's one of the reasons we're using this system, is that it's only something that's available to members of IUG. Those monthly Zoom forums are. So this is the way that we can kind of manage all that. And it's actually much easier behind the scenes for your steering committee members that add this information in as well. So we'll go through the screenshots and then I'll show you the demo live on this. So you would click on one of those details and you would click register for the event. You would go through the process, the screens. Mostly it's one of those next sort of items that what I call. You just kind of click go, 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 because your information will be pulling from your membership account. Then you will also be able to, you'll get an email with information about the session. Pardon me, but then you can also go and you will see when you are logged into your member area that you'll be able to see the registration information for the sessions as well. So those will be available to you in your member portal too. It is a little weird, and this is something we're still working with them on to see if we can improve that. When you click on one of these in your member area, and we'll see this, you have to click on the My Info tab to actually go back and find the link. Now that's just if you've lost the email. Again, you'll get an email, and that email will actually have some elements in it, like a button in it and things that will allow you to add it to your calendar. But if you've forgotten it for whatever reason, you'll be able to go back into your portal and find it, even though it's a little funky to find it in there. But we'll take a look at that here right now. So I will share my desktop app again. I'm going to go into the members area. Actually, I'm going to go to the home page first, and then I'll go into the members area. So this is where we are seeing those events show up here, the widget that's on the right-hand side. You can also click on more events, and you'll see a calendar view of things, including if we look at, for example, we're going to try to be more diligent about putting the regional meeting information that's there. So you'll see those. Those events can have their own separate registration system like this one does. So that's another nice piece. And we are hoping at some point in the future to allow members to submit their own events as well, so that it won't have to be something just the steering committee members put into the system. But if you have something that you'd like to promote that is related, then you'll be able to do that through this system as well, eventually, to submit your own. But for right now, these are items that are put in by the steering committee members, and we have both regional conferences and our forum and other things like the in-person conference that we will have as well. I'm going to jump back to I've lost my menu item here, so give me just a second. My Zoom level, I think, is too far out. I'm jumping back into the members area, and we can see under events, the events menu, there is events registration. So we can see the upcoming ones that are listed here, and we can see, for example, that this one on SQL, I've already registered for that event. We'll look at what that looks like in the portal in just a moment. But I'm going to go ahead and register for the forum we have coming later this month about year-end processes for AC in circulation. This is because we know a lot of organizations do those year-end processes at the end of the calendar year, but they really would apply if you do it, in September, or if you do things in July. The information would still apply to you. It just might not be as relevant as it would be for those that do it according to the calendar year. But I'm going to go ahead and register for this Polaris one. I've logged in. I'm going to click register. It's going to ask me to confirm this information, which is pulling from my membership information. This is at the attendee level. So the previous one was kind of the contact information for my site. This is for the individual attendee, myself, that it's asking me to confirm this. You see there's only one package selection available, and that is free for IUG members, because these sessions are free for if you're an IUG member. We're going to continue through that. This is giving me an opportunity to confirm all of the information, but a new capability with this system, and something that we're experimenting with and could use your feedback on, is that I can also quickly register other people that are linked to my account for the same session. So this is something we want your feedback on. This doesn't have to be turned on, but it feels like it could be beneficial if you want to set something up for multiple people in your organization. In this case, I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and add this other test account that I created. So I'll click that button. It's asking me to confirm this information at the attendee level again. So I will continue through that. And now you see that there are 2 attendees listed for this particular session. And I'm going to go ahead and then click the complete this registration form. Immediately, I'll see the ability to add the item to my Outlook calendar, my Google Calendar, or iCal. And then I'll see the links and other contact information that is down here listed at the bottom. So I'm registered for that in that regard. Let me pop up my email real quickly. I'm going to pause my screen share while I do that. As we all know, one never knows what one might find when they go into their email. So I'm going to open up this specific item and then bring the screen share back for you. All right, so this is the email that I received, the event registration confirmation piece. So the links are there. And then when we scroll down to the bottom within the email, we have the ability to add that event to our calendar as well. There's also kind of an individual, if you didn't have a login into the system, then there's another way to get in and look at this event. In all of your cases, you'll have a login into the system. But if we had an event that we were doing, for example, for people who were not members of IUG but were interested about it, we could set it up so that they could register for that event. And then they would have a way to get back in and take a look at their registration even without being a member. So in the case of all of you, this won't really make much of a difference most of the time. You'll just have this information, and then you'll also be able to go back in and look at it as well. So let's do that right now. Let's go back into the members area, and we can see that this new item has shown up under the registered events piece. So it shows both for my main account and my test account that I registered those 2 different ones, and I can click there. And this is where that weird item happens, where you have to click the My Info tab to see the details for your specific attendee registration that was a part of that. This is not, I think they just changed this. That was not clickable previously. It is clickable now, so that is very nice. That must be something that they just did within the system, because it didn't work that way earlier today. So that's the piece. That's the pieces that are available to register for those Zoom forums. All right, I'm going to stop for just a second and catch myself up in my slide decks. Yes, okay. So let me get back to that. The other thing that we have today set up in the new system is the ability to submit your proposals for our upcoming in-person conference, which is March 25th through the 26th. So a good opportunity for a quick little plug of that upcoming in-person conference. Very excited to see you in person. Last year, I was unable to attend due to a conflict with a charity fundraiser I was doing, but I'm very excited that this year's schedule will allow me to be there. So I'm excited to see many of you there and excited to hear all that you have going on at your organizations, which will involve you all submitting proposals. So look forward to doing that. And that proposal submission process is open today. You get a nice discount on your registration if you do submit a proposal. So I encourage you to consider that and do that. We're accepting proposals through the end of this month. I will show you a couple of ways that you can find that information, but probably the easiest is to look under the conferences area within the IUG website and pull up the IUG 2024 page that's there. So I'll show you what that looks like right now. And we'll kind of quickly walk through that process. Under conferences, IUG 2024, you'll see there is an option to submit a conference proposal listed there. This is the same area that is in the information that went out on the forums and also went out within the newsletter. This is the announcement. Within here, you can click then to get kind of a walkthrough of the proposal process. I'm going to jump us straight to the follow this link to submit a proposal. So from within there, you'll be able to submit a new proposal, and it will walk you through the variety of steps that you need to go through. Big word of advice is to just use the save and continue button down at the bottom. You can flip amongst these tabs, but some of these tabs have required information. And if you flip back and forth between them, then things might get weird in terms of getting error messages that you haven't filled something in on a particular tab. So recommendation is to do the save and continue. You do have the ability to add co-presenters as well, so that information is available to you. When you save and continue, you'll see the different topic areas. This is helpful because we have people that review the submissions that are more familiar with the individual topic areas. So this is a way that it helps us set up that scoring system. And then we have several different proposal types that are out there. I'm just going to do general and birds of the feather. And one of the elements that we are asking you to let us know is if you'd be willing to submit multiple times. That was a feedback that we had from the last conference, is wanting to be able to have certain sessions that they couldn't make because there were conflicts. So if some presenters are willing to present multiple times, we may be able to allow those sessions to run multiple times. Details about where you can fill in or request additional information from an AV perspective or innovative attendee, or if you have any ADA needs that we can help accommodate, that we can accommodate, then you would use those areas there. We're also asking you to initial that the material that you'll be using, you have copyright to, and that you also grant us a non-exclusive right, which means you also have the right to display your material and also use it if we were to take any audio video recordings. So you would agree to that. And then this is a test title. And this is a test. And then if you had any files that you wanted to submit, you could do that. It's not required, but if you wanted to do that, you could. And you could also come back later and upload your files to this area once you've completed them. I'm now reviewing all this information, and then we'll click on the confirm and submit button. That's going to submit a proposal. You get several emails saying you started a submission and that you completed one, and that we will get in touch with you if there are next steps. The first step that happens on the proposal submissions is kind of a quick sanity check, just to make sure you're not a spammer or a bot or anything like that. We then pass that. Once that individual does those, Jeff, our vice chair, does that quick check on those. It passes over to the scoring committee to score those proposals, and then you get information if your proposal has been accepted as well. So that's the general steps of the proposal submission process, which is open today, and we're very excited to see what you all have been working on, that you can share some details with us. You can see that proposal submission process at the bottom of the member page. It's kind of in a weird area. You have to scroll all the way down to the bottom to be able to see it. This is the one that I just submitted, so I can see that it's listed there. And if I made a typo or wanted to fix something up, I can go through and make those changes to the submission and then they'll be updated within the system as well. So the ability to see that, and then the ability to see as a screener, this is some other information that you'll see. The screening and scoring process will be available to you, but we'll explain that more if we've asked you to help us screen those proposals. All right. Got a couple of coming soon things that I wanted to talk with you about. So those are not proposals. All right. Got a couple of coming soon things that I wanted to talk with you about. So those are not things that you will see today, but will be coming very soon, meaning before the end of this year. The one is IUG steering committee elections will be coming soon. We'll be running that process through the member leaf system. So we are accepting nominations today. You all were nerdy enough to show up on a Wednesday afternoon to an IUG training session on our new membership system. So I think that qualifies you as being somebody that's interested in this organization, and it would be great to have you consider running for one of the open positions that is out there. I'll post the slide deck so you'll be able to get this link directly, but on our forum, if you go to that and do /T/1526 or just search for IUG nominations on the forum, either one will get you to a page that will give you more instructions on that process. So look forward to hearing from many of the folks that are participating today, running for that process. Then we will open that up for elections, but that elections will only be for the site contacts, as we mentioned, there's one vote per IUG member organization. So that would mean that voting will only be available to the site contacts. So you may want to check and verify who your site contact is, or who we have you listed as your site contact. And if necessary, we do have the change of site contact form that you can fill out, and we can help make those changes as well. Another coming soon, meaning before the end of the year, item is the IUG 2024 conference registration. That process will be in there. It will look similar in many ways to the event registration process that we have, that you were looking at already. The event registration piece will just have additional options for what the packages will cost. You'll be able to use discount codes, sign up for pre-conferences. We've already tested that within the system, so all those pieces are there. Those payments can be handled in the variety of ways, either by credit card or by PO and check and invoice and all that. That will all be there and all be available through MemberLeap. So look for that. And we've actually already got a placeholder out on our calendar that you can see the upcoming conference is out there right now. So take a look for that coming soon, meaning before the end of the year. Our hope is to open that early in December. We want to have your initial slate of sessions, so you know what you'd be signing up for in that regard, and then we will look to open up that registration process. In the new year, one of the things that we're also very excited about is that we are in the process right now of working with Innovative to establish a enhancements voting process that will be, I'll have a little more involved than the Idea Lab process that we previously used, in that what will be happening is that Innovative will be making an agreement to implement the items that come out of this process. So there will be a scoring process and a submission process, and it will involve many steps as well, some of which are unknown today. So I don't want you to take away with this saying, well, Wes said this is how enhancements voting is going to work, because we don't know. All I can tell you is that we are diligently working on that agreement with Innovative, and it will be something that will be an agreement, so that there will be some actual guidelines around how that process works, and the timelines for when those things will be implemented, and we'll publish more information on that in the new year. I think I saw Eleanor was logged in here, so a big thank you from my side to Eleanor for the work that she's been doing, and also Sarah Friedman Sarah's been doing as well, from San Diego, to help with this process, that we've actually been working on this, getting this agreement in place since I think November of last year. So it's been slow going, but we are making progress, and we're going to be excited to offer something in the new year. And that process will be tied to the membership system because it will be available for IUG members. All right. A big thank you. It's always a little bit dangerous when you start offering thanks because you're bound to miss somebody. But a big thank you from my side to Kathy, who is our kind of part-time IUG business manager. We hire her part-time, but she really works on this practically full-time. And she was involved in doing the migration of the data, and she's still involved in getting all the membership flow, renewal pieces, and sign-up pieces working with MemberLeap. So a big thank you from me to her for all that she's done there. Brian is our IUG webmaster, so he helped migrate the site from our previous WordPress instance to the new MemberLeap hosted site. So a big thank you from me to all that he's done. Derek has also been working on that, an IUG steering committee member, and working a lot on getting the event registrations workflow, which is a little tricky and a little involved initially to get set up, but he's been doing a lot of work on that. And I really appreciate that, as well as the work he's done with the website migration as well. And then Sarah has been helping out behind the scenes with a lot of the verbiage and copy that you might see on any of the emails and different places like that. So a big thank you from me to her for the work that she's done there. All right. That's the tour. I'd hope to get you out of here in 45 minutes. It looks like 46. What other questions do you have? I'm happy to try to answer via, they said, via chat, or if you want to unmute yourself as well. Sarah, anything you're thinking about? Let's see, you're off mute.
Oh, sorry, that was an accident.
Oh, okay, that's all right. Well, hello, nonetheless.
Hello, my microphone fell down, so.
Oh, all right. Push the button there. Any other questions that I can help answer? They don't even have to be associated with the member system. I'm happy to try and answer any other kind of general IUG questions that you might have. Again, some upcoming things to make sure you are on your calendar. The year-end processes Zoom forum that is later this month on the 16th. Making sure you submit a proposal for the IUG conference. I'd love to see those. Make sure you consider the nominations process that you would want to run for a position within the steering committee. Love to see you, all of you do something there as well. So those would kind of be my three big takeaways from the upcoming piece. And then I guess the other one is go ahead and try to log into the new system. Let us know what you see when you get in there. Let us know if things seem weird. You know, as we said, we just launched this a little bit over a week ago, so we're still working on things, but we're very excited about where we're at now and where we can possibly go with the system in the future. Victor saying he's excited about the new enhancement module. Yep, we're excited to see what we can do in there. Almost the technology piece of how the MemberLeap part will be able to work, but then also excited about having that agreement in place as well, which will be a big thing for IUG and for Innovative as well. That'll really kind of help them kind of centralize some of the different places where they hear voices about what things they need to be focused on. It'll be nice for them to have a more structured process for that on their side too. And that isn't to say you shouldn't be using Idea Exchange, which is available to everybody, not just IUG members. Still encourage you to go out and participate in Idea Exchange, add comments, vote on things over there. Much of what you do in Idea Exchange will likely play into the process that IUG has as well. So we'll likely be taking a lot of the content out of Idea Exchange to kind of seed the process that we're having. So there won't hopefully be a lot of duplication of effort in that regards. We want you to use Idea Exchange as well. There would just be a time period when we're hoping to narrow down what's in Idea Exchange and kind of put on paper what some of those specific items will be and when they will be done. So that's the hope on that process. Again, we're still in the stages of working out all the details of those agreements with Innovative. But participate in idea exchange today. It's a good thing. All right. Any other questions or comments? Again, either about the member system or if you have other things that you wanted to know about IUG, be happy to try and help answer those as well. All right, then. Well, it's been a wonderful spending some time this afternoon with you all. Again, thanks for being nerdy and coming and hanging out and talking about something like this. So thank you for that. And we will look forward to seeing you at some of those things I mentioned coming up later this month or in the coming weeks. So bye for now, though.